guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 Apostrophe, with day number 10, episode 10. Might as well be. It's October 10th, and it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I don't know how much horror you're watching, but hopefully you're watching enough throughout this absolutely wonderful month we call October. Right. And so you knew, or maybe not, I was going to have to cover this at some point. John Carpenter, I think this is the first break in for John into my 31 days. Now, remember, it's not really a theme per se, but I am trying to, hit a lot of my favorite directors. And I do actually have the entire month out before me now, pretty much well planned, but I can see I'm going to make some changes here and there. But it's always nice to have a template, right? At least it keeps you honest and keeps you on track. Man, for so long, did I just have the DVD release? I think it's got that green tinted cover art, which I don't mind. I love, actually. But, man, Studio Canal knocked it out of the park with this release. This 4K edition is absolutely unreal. Now, it's B-locked, so you got to be region free to enjoy it. But... and although I have heard, I don't know if this to be true, that 4Ks are not locked. I don't know for sure, but I would never spend the money to just test it out. But I think I did get this at a pretty good deal. But what an incredible, absolute incredible release is this. Three discs, man. You got the extras, the 4K, and of course the one in there right now. A new restoration. It's the 4K. It's just in its sound. It's not just it looks, it sounds out of this freaking world. The Fog, man. The Fog, for John Carpenter, The Fog to me is like how I love Dario Argento's Phenomena, or aka Creepers. Which really, maybe, by the way, that ought to get its play. It's not on my list, but now that I think about it, maybe Phenomena needs to be in my 31 somewhere. And if you got suggestions, dude, drop them down, man. And even if it sort of slightly falls outside of my theme, so to speak, I may jump on it. I think at some point, maybe even lay to rest, because that's a gift from Glenn, aka BDG Reviews, our Monday reviewer at BodyBags, sent me recently. I may have to, but... if you've never seen The Fog, and I'm not sure how that's even remotely possible, here's basically, I do like sort of what's on the back here. Stunningly restored in 4K, the classic 1980 horror film starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, Tommy Atkins, and Janet Leigh. The Fog is a tense and ghoulish tale that confirmed John Carpenter as a master of terror. Antonio Bay, California has turned 100 years old and is getting ready to celebrate its centennial year as the residents of the small, quaint harbor town begin to celebrate. An eerie fog envelopes the shore, and from its mist emerge dripping demonic specters, victims of a century-old shipwreck seeking revenge. You gotta love, man. Not bad. I don't mind that at all, man. It's not a bad synopsis. I love this on the front, though, man. Lock your doors. Bolt your windows. There is something in the fog. My memory of this goes way back, man. I was a kid, and for a birthday present one year, I got to go to a double feature at the drive-in. It was The Fog opened up for, I believe, The Legacy, or vice versa, whichever. I don't know. I was only like 12 or 13. But I did get to see this on the drive-in when I was a kid. I do remember seeing it on the drive-in. I remember the TV spots vividly. And it's one of those, I was 10, but when this came out. But that's about when, Alien in 79, Halloween was already getting its play seasonally on TV. I was already well in tune to the world of horror in terms of it being there, right? And The Fog, man, was one of those that the TV spots just lit me up. And it's so cool that I actually got to see this at the drive-in as a kid. But basically, let me just, not so much about the story, but for me, I think Tom Atkins, his role in this is outstanding, and his time with Jamie Lee Curtis on screen when he first picks her up on the side of the road, man. I love just the dialogue. I love the fact that, now look, don't take this the wrong way, okay? Because I don't really mean it like that. But I do love the fact that he's drinking a beer, driving. I mean, it sort of harkens back to the old days. Not that necessarily we want to go back to some of those days. Obviously, nobody wants to be drinking and driving, because that too often ends in horrific, nightmarish scenarios. But my point is, whether it's the mayor of Amity smoking a cigarette in the hospital, it harkens back to another age, with its good and its bad. It's just he's sipping on a beer there, and he's like, sip, and then of course she's like, she's, what is she? She says she's never hitchhiked before, and then she's like, she goes on this rambling tale, and then she's like, "Hey, can I ask you a question? Are you weird?" And he's like, yeah, I am weird. And she said, thank God, the last driver. And it's like 2 seconds later, he's like, thought you said you never hitchhiked before. And it's just like, that delivery is epically beautiful. I love it. I love just when they're going out to, when he's concerned about his buddy, which we get to see in the beginning of the movie, the three that are attacked on the road, which is one of the great moments. I love this movie, man. This really is comfort food for me. I can put this on almost any time. It don't matter. I love The Fog, man. And, and it does have its critics for whatever reason. Look, it just, the way it is, I love it, man. I love it. And I'm sorry, not that I'm really sorry, but I mean, shout out to Jason, our Tuesday reviewer at BodyBags, Horrific Nightmares. I did appreciate his take on the remake, and it did cause me to go back and relook at the remake. I'm just not the biggest fan of the remake for varying reasons. I will always think this is absolute. He does too, I'm sure. It's just, in his positive spin. He does make some good points about the remake that it does make it worth going back and re-looking at. It's just not one of my go-tos, and it'll never be comfort food for me. This is comfort food, man. This is something I grew up with as a kid, and John Carpenter just became that staple in your household, man. Whether it was The Thing, Halloween, Escape from New York. I was thinking about that the other day. Just how freaking awesome is Escape from New York? But The Fog is like that, man. And it's not even, it's one of those films that I have shared with my, well, not with Max, because he's only in first grade, but I have shared it with James, who is in sixth grade. And I've even shared a few things with him that are, above this pay grade. But this is a nice little entry into good horror. Deborah Hill, of course, produced, and we know the history of Deborah Hill, John Carpenter, Dean Cundey, of course, the great legendary Dean Cundey shooting the film. Rob Bottin, of course, is part of this as well, and that's pretty awesome. And Tommy Lee Wallace, man, we'll see him work with John. Again, the editor on this does a pretty good job here. Of course, John on the composing, and Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, Janet Leigh, sharing some time, and they'll get to revisit that a little bit later on in H2O. In fact, I think between The Fog and H2O, Janet Leigh really doesn't do anything. Of course, if you don't know who that is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I figured everyone knew. I guess I have to say it, so I go, okay. Anyways, this studio canal, if you are region free and you're still riding with the DVD, or maybe the I'm pretty sure Screen Factory put out a blue of The Fog, but you're looking for just an absolute insane release, 4K. You can't do no worse than Studio Canal, man. Yeah, I love it. And the end framing shot with Rob Bottin and of course, golly, why can't I think of his name? Well, you got John Houseman in here. What's his name in here? Why can't I think of his name? Who plays the priest? How is his name not in the credits? Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's just weird that his name's not in the credits. I know you can't put everyone's name, but how is his name not in the credits? The heck's his name? He's in Creepshow. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. I love the final end scene when he's like, why not me? And man, all of a sudden, man, the fog comes in, man. You got, man, right behind him, Rob Bottin. Wham! It's just freaking awesome, man. I see his face right here, and I cannot think of the life of me why I cannot think of his name. That happens to me, and that's probably because I'm getting old. And his name is nowhere on the back of this anywhere, and I probably ought to just go ahead and cut this now. But I'm just shocked. I remember Casablanca. I'm shocked to find gambling here as he's getting his winnings. If you've never seen Casablanca, anyways, The Fog, day number 10. This is a mandatory, like Black Sunday, mandatory watch, man. Mandatory. The Fog by John Carpenter. I'm sure he'll pop up again throughout this 31 days of horror. Thank you, as always, for the support, for the view, for the comment. If you leave one suggestion, drop it down below, whatever it is you got going on. Football, October, beer, whatever it is, candy, movies. It's that time of year, man. As always, we end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We might be used